I'm doing a lot of content now on scarcity trauma and how we aren't fully aware as to how our past experiences having very little. It could be emotional scarcity, having a parent that didn't really love us or nurture us.
Mm.
It could be financial scarcity, not having resources. We're not fully aware as to how that impacts our decisions. Some of us are so fearful that we could lose it all that we are risk averse. Others of us are the opposite. We spend, spend, spend because we're so accustomed to not having much. So we're not accustomed to abundance.
Mm.
How can we cope with our past trauma so that we can start over?
That's a great question. That scarcity mindset is something that I really think a lot about, when it comes to, my experiences. So within my 19 years of incarceration, 7 of those years was in solitary confinement. And you're talking about scarcity, that's probably as scarce as it gets, right? It's like, you don't have access to human touch. You don't have access to healthy human engagement or any of the other trappings of life that makes us feel abundant and whole. And so the way that I've learned how to navigate scarcity mindset is actually by operating the spirit of gratitude, being thankful for the things that I do have, being thankful for the moments that I have with people that I engage with. I have a morning practice where when I wake up in the morning, I think about what are three things that I'm thankful for that aren't the most obvious. It's easy to be thankful for the house and the cars and the things that signal, success in life. But there's other elements that I'm so thankful for. I wake up and I'm like, oh, I can actually go into a refrigerator and get orange juice. Something as simple as that grounds me and really helps me kind of set myself up for success throughout the day. And then when it gets to the deeper things, I don't think I'm different from anybody who's aspired towards something great. Those old traumatic conversations come up. So I'll do a thing called check the narrative. And check the narrative is just really when something comes up that is operating out of, whether it's self doubt, scarcity, whether it's, abandonment issues or whatever. I'm like, okay, whose narrative is this? Is this really my narrative, or is it a narrative that I am welcoming into my home? Meaning like my mental space, my emotional space, my spiritual space. And that ability to just check that narrative is like the same way I would check somebody if they was coming into my home, like, yo, you got mud on your boots? You might have to take them off at the door. And just those little check-ins to me allows me to really reset and be mindful that, look, the voices are going to come up. Childhood trauma is going to be triggered. But if I can seize the moment, which is the only thing I believe we ever have is the moment, I can really move to a mode of action that honors the abundance that I'm worthy of. And so gratitude and checking the narrative have been game changers for me.